Welcome to the Miami Lakes Business Podcast, sponsored by the Miami Lakes Chamber of Commerce. Today we have a very interesting guest, which are also members of the chamber. And it so happens that this company is the one that distributes Voli 305 Vodka, which is related to Armando Cristian Perez, known as Pitbull or Mr. 305. So we have here today Priscilla Perez.
Hola.
I'm not going to say Perez. I'm going to say Perez.
Perez,
which is is a proper pronunciation.
The proper way to say it, yes.
And she's the owner of Voli 305 Vodka. Mm-hmm. And we also have with us Ashley Gonzalez. Ashley Gonzalez is our sales manager for Voli 305 Vodka.
Hello.
So it's good to have you both.
Thank you so much for the
opportunity. Let's talk a little bit about, and you can start if you want. Let's tell our audience about you. You're homegrown in the patio, so tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am. So I was born in Hialeah, Florida. Born and raised in Hialeah. At about the age of 14, we moved into Miami Lakes. So I always say that's the come up, right? You leave Hialeah and you made it when you get to live in Miami Lakes.
We've all done that.
it's the come up of, but I'm still very proud to be a Hialeah girl.
Me too.
I always say Hialeah is its own planet. And if you can survive and grow up in Hialeah, you can survive anywhere in the world.
Makes you tough.
It sure does. People always say, anytime I have anything going on, and I'm sitting in a room, where the audience is very stuffy or not sure how to approach, the conversation, or I always say, I just want to break the ice real quick and just let everybody know that I'm from Hialeah, so we can all take, our jackets off and kind of like cool down, because this is a real person here. This is not, a made up figure that I'm going to come and sell some crazy story of somebody that I'm not.
Right.
So born in Hialeah, raised in Miami Lakes for the later part, and now I live south, but for business purposes. So.
Good. You grew up in as I was reading your bio, you grew up in a home with 4 brothers.
3 older brothers. Yep, and then I have a younger brother.
Wow.
Yes.
So that must have been a little difficult to have so many boys around you, protecting you.
People always say, you were probably the princess, you were so spoiled. It's actually the complete opposite. And I credit them and I thank them for making things difficult for me, because it's really what inspires me and motivates me to be able to drive in a male-dominant industry.
Probably created a very solid base.
It sure did.
From which you can conduct business and
it did.
Take care of business yourself.
It did. I don't take anything, I don't take anything soft. I don't get offended by comments. I don't, I can sit down in the boys' table and have conversation with the boys.
You can take it.
Yeah. There's no weakness here.
So tell me a little bit about how the company started, because I know you didn't start with buying Voli 305. It was something else. So
my business partner, Armando, I have a very hard time calling him by his stage name, but he's always Armando to me. In 2011, there was a brand called Voli that was going into the market. And that was at the same time that the Bethany Frankel Skinny Margarita brand was being established. So there was a hedge fund group out of New York that was getting into the space. And they were looking into getting into the skinny space, and they went into vodka, and it was a low-calorie vodka. Don't ask me how they figured to make low-calorie vodka, because vodka's probably the healthiest thing we could drink.
Less processed than any other
Correct.
liquor.
So they acquired this company in 2011, and was the first celebrity endorsement with with a percentage of equity that he was offered. So that it was a very interesting opportunity. I've been friends with him for 25 plus years at this point. So been around, all the business adventures and everything that's come around. So this company came out and gave them this opportunity. They did a good job with the brand, and I'm very grateful to their mistakes, because it led us to the position we're in today. So the mistakes that they made was having an influential person like him and not taking advantage of his market share and what he was controlling in the market, which was the Latino market. That's the market that they missed. They were so fixated and focused on going after the healthy thing that they missed the market that he really targeted, which was the Latino market.
Right.
And so, the company had its, its run and its good years, but never enough to where the shareholders were satisfied with the outcomes. So in 2016, they were ready to dissolve the company, and the opportunity arose, and he made an offer to buy it. And at first they were like, we don't want to do this to you. You're making a mistake. You're a kid. You're not sure. And he's like, I want to acquire it. One, because I'm Cuban American, and we don't fail at anything that we put our name behind.
Oh, that's something.
So that was the main thing, And at this point, he had put Voli in every music video he had shot. It was there was lyrics to it in every song he had, written from 2011 to 2016. So he's like, I won't let this fail. And at this point, when we acquired the company, I remember him saying to me one day, if we drink our own vodka in our favorite restaurant, we already won. So we took a possession of the company in 2016, found a local distiller that was making rum and gin. And I approached them with the project, and they took it on, and they developed our Voli 305 vodka. The recipe, I like to always say that it's a woman's palate, because I had a lot to do with the developing of the recipe. More so because vodka is something that burns. Vodka is something you think about the smell and you're like, ugh, vodka. It's like rubbing alcohol. Who wants to drink that? For me, it was very important that it was something that I could drink. Because if I had to go out there and put my name and my face and have people join me in drinking it, I wanted to make sure that I was enjoying the experience as well. So we developed the brand 2016, went into the market in 2017, and it's been a fun adventure.
It's been a good adventure for you.
It's been a fun adventure with a lot of education. Never knew that there was so many laws behind liquor, so many little laws within the laws.
Because it's a very controlled substance.
Extremely controlled. The laws probably haven't changed since Prohibition. So we've been dealing with the same laws since the 1940s.
Wow.
So it's been a learning experience for us. Not an industry that I was in before. So taking on the task was a challenge. But for those that really know me, if it wouldn't be challenging, I wouldn't be happy.
Good.
So if it doesn't involve stress and oh my God, and figuring things out and the puzzle, I probably would be bored and onto a different venture right now.
Wonderful. Well, yeah. So it is a good thing to learn that it is actually distilled here locally.
It is the only vodka made in Miami. There's other brands that identify as made in Miami, but we are the only vodka that is officially made, distilled, bottled, and everything in Miami.
How many people does the company employs?
So Voli 305 as a company, we employ a total of 4.
4, okay. Mm-hmm. All right.
We have distribution in 7 markets across the nation.
Different states.
We have Florida, we have North Carolina, we have New Jersey, Kentucky, Connecticut, Nevada, and Mississippi.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
well, that's good. That's a good number of states.
Yeah,
and I'm sure that soon you'll be.
Soon we'll have nationwide distribution. But it's what we did learn from the other company were the mistakes that we didn't want to do. So we want to make sure that we do things right. So it might take us a little bit longer, and we're also talking about this is all self-funded. We don't have any investors involved, so I personally am very cautious with where I do spends because I'm always protecting where everything is coming from.
Of course.
Yeah. Because of the personal relationship, right?
Correct.
It's a protecting thing. So I'm always protecting where we invest, what we get involved with, how we put the brand out there, what the brand identity is very important to us.
Right. Besides, it's it's your own creation.
Yes.
It's it's a local brand.
It's
so
my baby.
I'm sure that you have to be very zealous about things to do and not to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the local market. We have with us here Ashley Gonzalez, and Ashley's position is sales manager for the company.
Yes.
So you're out on the battlefield. I'm a salesperson myself for many years since I was born, pretty much. And so I know that selling is not easy.
No.
It's not an easy thing to do. So tell us a little about what you do and how you get to have the establishments to display and use your product.
Oh, well, first, thank you for having me. So happy to be here. Selling isn't easy. You have to really want it and go after it. Like you can have one conversation with somebody and they're like, oh my God, yeah, we're totally gonna get into it. We don't totally want to work with you. But then if you're not following up and you're not, on top of the game or on top of mind, how I like to say, on top of mind, you can get forgotten very easily. So as a salesperson, you just have to know how to talk to people, just, really be on top of the game and really know how to follow up and just be a people person, really. So, yeah, that's definitely that.
Well, you could tell them a bit how you started and got to the sales position.
So how I actually started was I was an ambassador for Voli, which is doing little events, tasting events around Miami, different liquor stores and different events going around. So that's actually how I started. And I loved what the brand stands for. I'm a vodka person myself. So I thought, it's great. I'm actually, doing something that I enjoy, to drink and just be a part of. So once I saw more of an opportunity or wanted more of an opportunity to get more involved with the brand, Priscilla gave me, an amazing opportunity to do that. So, and then that's how I got more
And you
involved.
are a local
Yes,
person
local
as well.
Miami
Grew up
Laker
in Miami
myself, born and raised, Palmetto Hospital, right there. And
I'm not so sure about the Palmetto Hospital.
well, I mean, I was highly a person, and then became to Miami Lakes. But I was 5 years old when I came to Miami Lakes, so that's why I just born and raised Miami Laker. I still am here, will still always be in Miami Lakes. For some reason, I just can't leave out of here.
And you're doing your master's now at FIU, I understand?
Yes, I'm doing a master's now at FIU. Didn't think I would be going back to school, but it's something that I've always wanted to do. First university graduate in my family, so I like to hold that title very high.
Well, that's good. That is very good. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that, the people here, you were at the Chamber Luncheon, I think it was last month when we had it. And people loved the vodka, and seeing you guys there. I mean, it was all a very, very good event, and we appreciate you bringing it to us.
Of course.
Priscilla, I know that you're also involved in some other affairs.
Yes.
As I was reading your bio, so why don't you tell us a little bit about that? I think one of them was, if I remember correctly, it was a slam charter school. Mm-hmm. And the other one is 305 Gives Back.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that, because I think our audience would love to know about it.
The Slam Charter Schools is a project that I had the opportunity of connecting Armando and Fernando Zulueta, the founder of Academica. I was actually the one that introduced them and was able to establish that relationship. And I kind of did that with the plot behind eventually him having his schools. So when all of that, when those introductions happened, that was really my purpose behind it, was to introduce them. But right when we were leaving the meeting, I said, you guys are going to build a school together, and this is really where he leaves his legacy. Because one thing is, is the music and all that stuff lives on, but a school with the amount of kids that go through there and the impact that the way the schools run leaves on them, that's really where the legacy leaves. When you see these kids now, we have kids that are already college graduates that went to SLAM, that you see them achieving and striving in life. And the first SLAM is located in Little Havana. Is that
a K to 12 type of
so right
school?
Now it's middle school, high school.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So you see these kids, the neighborhood was really not setting them up for success.
My first steps here in Miami was in the La Sabuesera.
Okay.
Yeah, 16th Avenue and between 6th and 7th Street.
Okay, so
the building's still there.
SLAM sits on 12th Avenue, between 6th and 7th, on 12th.
We were. I delivered newspapers all along that area there.
Wow.
For.
Oh my God.
for a few months.
Yeah. So that's my involvement there. My son actually was a student at Matter Lakes when Slam was open, so he was one of the first to enroll in Slam, and that's what drove me to move south, was for him to be able to go to Slam. At first, I got a little scrutiny from my family, like, why are you going to put this kid in a school in Havana? Like, he's born and raised in Miami Lakes. This is what he knows. It's a different environment. I'm like, because I want him to be exposed to everything. And growing up in Miami Lakes for him was very sheltered, especially the charter school. It's a sheltered environment. So I wanted him to get the exposure
An
of
opportunity to see the real world.
The real world, and appreciate, the hard work that I've put into to raise him. I raised him as a single mom, and I wanted him to really understand that not everything was peaches and cream always. There was always other flavors that we had to learn in life in order to be able to enjoy the perks that he's gotten in his life. So that's where the Slam Slam Charter School project comes from. 305 Gives Back is our non-for-profit and our philanthropy, and that is really where my heart thrives. So we officially drew the paperwork and made it an official non-for-profit, but for many years before, Armando, in his kind heart and in his giving ways, is always about how to give back. How to give back without it being public. So he doesn't go to donate water after a hurricane with a case of water to take a picture for the credit.
So that people can see.
Correct.
Right.
Everything is always done behind the scenes. No one really ever knows who's involved. The first year we did it, I remember it was one of the hurricanes that hit in the southern Bahamas Islands, and we like to vacation there. So it was very important for us to help the people there, because all the people that worked in the places that we like to go were all very affected. So I remember I went to Shell Lumber, and I went in and I started putting order for materials. And the guy's looking at me, he's like, and I was in gym clothes. So the guy's looking at me, he's like, you're running like a $30,000 bill. I'm like, okay. And he was like, and who are you? And I was like, that's none of your business, but I'm going to pay for this bill. So these are all the things that we need. And they were like, oh, okay. So that was our first adventure with it. The earthquakes in Little Haiti, we would always send supplies also. Just finding a way of the containers, getting the right container company to make sure we were getting to the people, avoiding all government connections at all costs, just so that it would go directly to those that were in need. So we've done that since, I don't know now. It's been many years. The most recent impact that we did was when Hurricane Dorian hit the Bahamas. We were the first set of supplies to arrive to Green Turtle Key before the Bahamian government.
Wow.
We arrived 3 days after the storm in a large boat with all the supplies they could possibly need and didn't know that they needed. We arrived with generators, chainsaws, lumber, clothing, food, everything, to the point where one night, because these people had been without hot water, we opened the boat to them and let them come in to shower and have a warm meal. And we, between the team all together, we made sure that, these people felt safe. And I remember the first day we got there, they were very apprehensive toward us, because they were like, who are you, and who sent you here, and why are you here? And we had never been to this island. We just, between the captain of the boat and my husband, they mapped out the path and figured, we have this much fuel, we can go at this speed, and we're going to get there. And that's just really become like our passion project.
Wow,
but we keep it very low-key. I do open up, and I take donations, and I collect things from friends and family, and my friends and family share it. And that's like this hurricane right now that we're looking at. We're watching it very closely. We already have a team in motion collecting stuff. We have a warehouse full of supplies, and we have a bank account ready to fund wherever the need is. But our main purpose is to go where the need is, not to go through an agency or associate to anything government related, because we really want it to help make an impact.
Right, and to help.
Yeah.
And being from South Florida, you know exactly what is needed when hurricane time comes.
We sure do.
We're kind of experts at that.
We sure do. It's funny because we'll put a list out with all the supplies that we need. And one year I put beer, cases of beer, and someone wrote to me like, "How dare you ask for beer in a time of need?" I said, "Can you imagine sitting outside your house where everything's been blown out and you have nothing? You're sitting there looking at your house completely rubbled, because this is what we've walked into. We've seen people just sitting in a chair, just looking at their house on the floor.
No.
You know, why don't they deserve a beer? They do. If anybody deserves a beer or a glass of wine at that time, it's those people.
Absolutely.
So why not take it to them? And, you know, then people were understanding. They're like, oh, okay. You know, I had people like, oh, but we want to help through my church, but we can't help if it says beer. I said, well, take out the beer with a magic marker and give it to your church to do the collections. I mean, you know, geez, the priests drink wine, don't they, at communion? Let's keep it real
and
here.
they can drink a beer too. You know, it's okay for them to drink a beer.
Let's keep it real, you know. So that's kind of what has made us kind of stand out a little bit when we send out our list of supplies that we're collecting.
Well, that is wonderful. It's a wonderful, organization that you have, and
Thank you.
it's not just the, not just the vodka, but everything else
I
involved.
always say the vodka project is the fuel that will keep that being able to keep going. In my perspective, I'm like, if the Volley does really good, that gives us more means to give
to
back.
help others and give back. So how did the public, for them to learn, how do they get the vodka? Is it sold on all the liquor stores?
So we currently, like Ashley was explaining, it's a very difficult market to get into. There is a lot of activity that goes on that's frowned upon, as far as pay to pay and pay for your space in a store or in a restaurant. And we kind of taken the approach, especially in South Florida, where like, if you really say that you're about Miami and you love Miami,
You should
support the
have,
local brand that's made in Miami.
Right.
Because we do have in the distillery, which we now are officially partners of the distillery, we're building a brand new 8,000 square foot facility by the falls, and plan to expand and create little satellite experiences around Florida. We do want people to support the local because we are employing local. We are keeping it, within the community, and we do have our foundation that does give back in time of needs. So, liquor stores where we are available, Big Daddy's, they've been a great partner. They've stepped in and really have helped us. That also goes back to my roots of being in Miami Lakes, where Dee Dee and Jimmy Flanagan were regulars at Shula's, where I was a regular at also. I actually used to work in the nursery at Shula's when I was 20 years old. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I worked at the nursery at Shula's. So they've been a big help. Big Daddy's, Letty's Liquor in Hialeah carries Voli. Vintage Liquors, Jensen's Liquor. Ashley's working now with some local stores here in Miami Lakes that we hope that they,
Local
come
here,
correct and help us.
Local liquor stores.
The
You hear this, you know who you are.
We hope that you all come correct and really.
Well, I personally buy my liquor at Big Daddy's.
Okay,
And
so
I
it's
love
definitely
it.
available.
They have
there.
excellent prices, and not only that, but they give me a $20 when I get to so many points.
Yes, their loyalty
$20
program.
for
It's so fun.
Flanagan's,
Yeah.
which is great.
Which
my
is great.
grandson has used a few, and also my niece has used a few. So
Yeah.
it's very convenient. So I'm going to be another customer.
I'm very happy to hear
Because
that.
I love vodka and I make a mean Bloody Mary.
Okay.
I do.
I'm gonna have to take
I've,
you up on
I've
an offer
always
for one
done
of
that.
those.
I've always done it. It's actually a Bloody Caesar
Okay.
because I make it with clamato.
Oh, nice.
Yes, so it's a
Oh, my
little
grandma
bit.
would love
It's
that.
not a strong
Right.
taste, but it's very flavorish. So from now on, I'm going to start using.
Well, I'm excited for you to taste our vodka because you're gonna find that the profile of it is it's not the strong vodka typical profile.
Mm-hmm.
It does have a sweeter profile to it. It's made of Florida sweet corn.
Oh, wonderful!
Our filtration process includes coconut husk and charcoal, so it definitely smooths the process and the palate accepts it very nice. It has a very full flavor in the mouth. For a vodka, it's something you could actually put in your mouth and swirl, and not feel like you're burning.
Right. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, so I think we've come to the end of our podcast.
Awesome.
And Priscilla, I want to thank you for being here. Ashley, I want to thank you for being here. We want to thank Tico also for providing the the guest today.
I say we open a bottle and give it a test.
Well, we could do that. I don't know
definitely
how.
could do
Keep talking, I'll open it. That way I come
Okay.
out on the camera.
Yes, I want to
anyway.
say thank you to Tico because I know Tico through his brother Louis Casamayor,
Uh-huh.
Oh,
who I've known since I was
he has to mention it.
a little girl. I actually walked my brother's first wedding with
With
Louis.
Louis, wow.
Yep. So
Wow.
Tico and Louis are very special people in my family, and their support is very much appreciated.
I don't know if
always.
this is legal or not to do it here and in the studio, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna taste it.
Of course.
We're gonna taste it.
And a very fun fact, because we are first generation Cuban Americans and we're very proud of our heritage, our cases are bilingual. So if you notice our bottle, this one says Hecho en Miami. And this one will say Made in Miami.
Wow, beautiful.
So we want to make sure that our heritage is very strongly represented in our brand.
Beautiful, beautiful. Let me tell you, it tastes delicious.
Amazing, right?
Thank you.
And you're right. It doesn't burn you.
It
Very
doesn't burn.
very smooth.
Yeah. I drink it on the rocks with a little splash of lime. Or in a dirty martini. Very filthy swamp water. That's my favorite
That's your
martini.
favorite?
That's my favorite.
All right. So
Yeah.
again, thank you so much. Thank you so
You're very
much
welcome.
for.
You see, you didn't cough, you didn't choke up when you sipped it.
No,
so.
no. I just came out of a pneumonia. Believe it or
Oh,
not.
okay.
Yeah. And actually, the day of the chamber luncheon, I had pneumonia.
Well, this cures everything. Don't worry.
Yeah. So I think that will warm me up for
Ahora sí
sure.
se te va a quitar.
That'll warm me up.
It definitely will.
So I thank you for being here with us.
Of course. Thank you for the
And,
opportunity.
Ashley and Priscilla, and wish you the best.
Thank
A
you.
lot of success. That's that's the main goal.
Thank you.
And we thank you for being part of our podcast today. And until next time.